I don't think it has anything to do with logic or reason. One simply likes what one likes. One simply must be close to the ocean, or the woods, or the mountains. There is no explanation that will suffice. It is what it is. I like the ocean. I must live close to the ocean. I must be able to visit the ocean often. Maybe it is because I'm just a barefoot boy from the islands. When I'm by myself, I give myself permission to explore my thoughts and to revitalize my thinking and to reassess my beliefs. There are so many beliefs that I have flushed away as I get more in tune with my inner self. Dogma and negative traditional ways of life no longer own me. My actions are no longer guided by fear of other human beings. Hatred is not gospel to me. I am free to despise and to discriminate based on the other person's character. I am no longer obligated to justify my actions. They choose their behavior and I accept their freedom to choose. After all, it is a conscious choice on their part. Just as I choose not to accept their behavior as part of my world, that is a conscious choice on my part. I simply ask that they go away from me and be with their own kind, people who behave as they do. It is here at the ocean that I think about life in the United States, and I try to understand if I can. I try to offer suggestions to resolve what I see as negative tendencies, ways of life that impact my life and everyone around me. But my ideas are not absolutes. I could be wrong. For example, my ideas on poverty. I am now convinced that poverty is a cultivated condition, grown for the benefit of greedy commercial enterprises, politicians, and social scientists. And of course, the conditioning starts in schools. In an earlier video, I explained how schools are complicit in conditioning people for poverty. That's what I think. Creating the conditions for poverty helped to keep the slave labor pool filled, a constant supply of cheap workers, people who will work for trinkets and food laced with fat, salt, and flour. Poverty breeds crime, which helps law enforcement to justify their purpose in life, in some cases. Have you noticed that in wealthy neighborhoods, the police officers are almost invisible because they use their resources and intelligence to prevent crime? While in poor neighborhoods, the mantra is to fight crime, the very condition created by politicians to incite fear. Politicians, for example, will tell you that you need low-income housing. I say we need higher standards in education to fight poverty and crime. Politicians talking about low-income housing do so to secure votes and to perpetuate the conditions of fear. Speaking about fear, one city in Texas, for example, has a policeman with 7 notches on his gun. His latest victim, a 15-year-old, unarmed Hispanic boy. Unfortunately, no matter how noble our leaders may be, they are no greater than the enslavement conditions that have been created since buying and selling of goods and people started. You cannot legislate conditions of the heart, and when the heart is conditioned by dogma, it is impossible to make worthwhile changes without upsetting the comfort of God's will, supposedly. You may ask, are there not programs designed for the poor? No. There are programs that are designed using the poor as the scapegoats for the programs. The programs are not designed to help or create the conditions to eliminate poverty, but instead are designed to maintain poverty at the expense of taxpayers. These so-called programs sound wonderful to the outside observer, but they are simply tools to get votes. If you don't believe me, it is simple to get an answer. Ask one who is now trapped in poverty about these programs, and they'll tell you. Poverty does not always show its face as iron pots and dirt floor. Poverty can be, and often is, as close to you as your next door neighbor. Poverty can be as blatant as making $100 and needing $300 just to survive. It is an obsession on having things to impress your neighbors, no matter the cost. It is paying off credit card debts with credit cards. It is not the face you think it is. It can be as close as looking into the mirror. The good news is that the cycle can be broken by simply refusing to play the game. Use the internet to educate yourself about every subject matter that's of interest to you. All free. Wear old clothes that fit if they're still good. Eat real food and reject the fast food of salt, fat, and flour. Buy and drive only cars that are built to last. Reject the flash and use cash. Insist that the government give you clean tap water to drink and stop buying something as basic as water. Get rid of cable. Use the internet for your family entertainment. Get a good broadband coming into your house and look to the internet for your entertainment. All you need to do really is just to identify your needs and stop buying into marketing messages of television. Go back to basics. Use coconut oil for your hair and skin and buy nothing that comes in a jar that costs more than $1. Trust me, that stuff you're buying is no better than good old natural coconut oil. Use cheap and healthy soap and get rid of body wash. Well, you get the idea. As for me, I just love coming to the ocean. It is cheap and real entertainment, and not having a need to travel hundreds of miles to see a fantasy land. Yes, I love coming to my free ocean. I love watching the birds free. Don't you?